Passive-aggressive personality disorder. Imagine you're 25 years old with passive-aggressive personality disorder. This condition makes you a master of saying one thing but meaning the complete opposite with your actions. When someone does something that is bound to piss even Mother Teresa off, you will act like you're totally fine even when you're not. So instead of erupting like a volcano and letting your feelings out, you'll just hold things in and simmer and bubble like boiling water until you eventually burst. The thing is, you find it really uncomfortable confronting people when you're pissed, so you'll rather just stick to the silent treatment. Sometimes you'll use sarcasm and backhanded comments to hide your true feelings, and this would make it very difficult for people to understand you or your feelings. But at the same time, you're still the same person who would be constantly complaining about feeling underappreciated or misunderstood. Passive-aggressive disorder is mostly seen in people who grew up in an environment where direct expression of emotions, especially anger, is discouraged or punished. Like your parents literally never want to see you show anger to anything, even when you have the right to be angry. Schizoid personality disorder. Now, you've most likely gotten to a point in your life when you just wanted to be alone and relax. Enjoy your peace and quiet without any interruptions. But you eventually get over that phase and come out to socialize again. Well, someone with schizoid personality disorder never gets over this silent time. They're practically in a committed and very serious relationship with solitude. If you have this disorder, you'll never want people around you, and your social life is permanently set on the do not disturb mode. So while everyone is out there making friends and building connections, you're comfortably home alone, rewatching all the videos on the evaluator for the 17th time. You'll basically turn into a human island, and the worst is, you don't even care to know or make friends. Most of the time, you would even create a fantasy world in your head and prefer to live inside there. This disorder is estimated to affect roughly 392 million people worldwide. However, people with schizoid personality disorder aren't necessarily unhappy with their situation. The only problem is that it can negatively affect their jobs and relationships. Sadistic personality disorder. Now, sadistic personality disorder is like being the schoolyard bully who never changed or became a better person. It's like you derive joy from causing misery and pain to people, and watching other people get scared makes you feel very happy and satisfied. For instance, someone who has a sadistic personality disorder would purposely set up dangerous objects like knives to physically hurt another person. The sickest part of it is that they would do it over and over again. This disorder is often seen among people who grew up in an environment where cruelty was the norm, but sometimes some people are just born this way. It's like their brain wiring gets a little crossed, and suddenly causing pain seems like a great hobby. A great number of people have been diagnosed with sadistic disorder, and if you notice that someone is purposefully being wicked and mean to you, then they may be sadistic. Some serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy have also been diagnosed with this condition. Generally, trying to get a solid number of people with this condition would be like trying to count how many invisible friends are in the room. A little impossible. Narcissistic personality disorder. Imagine if your ego was a balloon constantly inflating until it took up an entire room. That's basically what narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is like. You would literally feel like you're the star of the entire show and everyone else is just lucky to be in the crowd of that show. People with this disorder would exaggerate their achievements and talents, expecting to be recognized as superior for no reason. In their minds, they feel as important as someone who won an Olympic gold medal for sprinting, even if they've never set foot on a track. A person with this disorder will crave attention and admiration like plants crave sunlight. You would also be a master manipulator and would not think twice before using people as a stepping stone to achieve your selfish goals. In fact, you would be entirely convinced that people should be honored to help you. The crazy thing is that despite their outward appearance of supreme confidence, individuals with NPD often have fragile self-esteem. They're hypersensitive to criticism and can react with rage or contempt to perceived slights. It's like their ego is a beautiful balloon that looks robust but can be popped by the tiniest pin of criticism. Sadly, this condition is often rooted in childhood trauma, but most narcissists are simply just born that way. It's like their ego is literally too big for their brain. It's estimated that about 1% of the general population has this disorder, and that's approximately 75 million people worldwide. Although treatment for NPD is possible, the first step is getting the narcissist to admit there might be a problem, and this is like trying to convince a peacock it's not the prettiest bird in the forest. Antisocial personality disorder. Now, imagine you're in a situation where everybody is complaining about how selfish you are. Your mom, dad, and siblings are all coming together to list all your bad habits and explain why they always feel like they're being exploited and manipulated by you. But the truth is, you don't even care. This is because you have antisocial personality disorder, which basically turns you into a mean, cold, and uncaring person who would go to any means to get what they want, even if it means manipulating, deceiving, and stepping all over the feelings of other people. It's like your moral compass is broken and just points to me, myself, and I. You literally only do things that benefit you personally and don't care about any rules or regulations. In fact, you always make sure to break all of them. A person with this disorder would treat others like NPCs in their personal video game. It's as if you skipped the How to Be a Decent Human Being 101 class in life school. The worst of it all is that you actually never accept the blame for stuff because you're convinced that everyone else is definitely the problem. So you basically have zero empathy, no respect, and take no accountability for your actions. Avoidant personality disorder. Let's say you're a 24-year-old man and all your life you've never had a single friend that's not your parent or sibling. This is because to you, the whole world just looks like one big scary playground. So you'd rather hide in your shell like a turtle than risk going into the world. To you, social situations feel like you're being sent into a room with the devil himself. So instead of meeting new people and engaging in small talk, you'd rather defuse a bomb or wrestle an alligator. While the fear of rejection is pretty normal for most people, you've practically turned it into your arch nemesis and have taken necessary steps to avoid it, like the Black Death. It's like your brain has literally turned into an overprotective bodyguard who's constantly whispering, "Danger! Danger! Social interaction ahead!" Now, the frustrating part about living with this personality disorder is that deep down, you actually crave connection. But you're so scared of being judged and rejected that you think it's best to keep everyone out. Self-defeating personality disorder. If you have this personality disorder, you'll literally be your personal worst enemy. You would practice self-sabotage so much and have a very strong conviction that good things are simply not meant for you. You'll be so used to setting yourself up for failure that it'll look like you're literally allergic to your own success. Every opportunity would be met with a resounding no. And the worst part of it is that you are totally comfortable staying unhappy and sad. People are not born with this disorder. Rather, it develops when a person grows up with mean and overly critical parents who are never satisfied or happy with their achievements or goals. You've literally been brainwashed to think you deserve nothing good, and all your self-confidence has been taken away. Point is, you will always be the writer, director, and star of your own tragedy. Paranoid personality disorder. In the society we live in today, it is very normal to be scared and suspicious of people because you can never really know. But someone with this paranoid personality disorder would turn that fear and suspicion into an everyday lifestyle. According to you, if you have this disorder, everybody is out to get and harm you. Even the two people walking down the road minding their own business, or the friend who forgot to text you back, is definitely plotting your downfall. It's like you've basically turned into a human suspicion detector who sees threats and danger everywhere, even when there's no real reason to be scared. You see, because of your irrational fear and mistrust of everyone, you would be constantly in a state of high emotional and physical alert, which can honestly be very exhausting and draining. Imagine never being able to relax because you think everybody is an enemy. This personality disorder would also turn you into a very hostile, argumentative, and aggressive person. Histrionic personality disorder. So, your friend was getting married and all the bridesmaids were supposed to dress in pink. Now, everybody knows how rude it is to wear white to another person's wedding, but you ignore all of that and still wear your lace white flowing gown. You even do your hair and makeup to resemble the bride. The truth is, you can't seem to help yourself. You have histrionic personality disorder, which basically makes you love attention as much as you need oxygen to breathe. You're You're basically a walking, talking exclamation point that everything you do has to be loud and noticed. You'll wear the most elaborate outfits even if you're just popping into the corner store for a bottle of milk. You would also be emotionally unstable and volatile. Your feelings for people would be as shallow as a fish pond, and you'd be excessively dramatic even in situations that don't call for drama. It's like everything has to be a huge soap opera for it to make sense to you. This disorder is often a mix of nature and nurture, so while most people are born this way, the environment and lifestyle they grow up in often enable their behavior. Dependent personality disorder. Every single person in this world needs to have someone they depend on, either for financial, physical, or emotional support. It's a pretty normal thing to do, but for someone with dependent personality disorder, their need to depend on people is cranked up to the highest and then multiplied by 10,000. A person with this condition would have an excessive need to be taken care of by others. You know how people attend to a newborn baby? This is exactly how they expect to be treated. They're like emotional koalas, clinging to you as if their life depended on it. Now, aside from the fact that you are totally fine with another person making every single decision for you, even down to the color of your underwear for the day, you are also okay with letting people walk all over you. The worst part is that sometimes you may not agree with the other person's decision, but you're too scared to even say no, so you'll just roll with it. It's like you're constantly playing a game of Mother May I, but with everyone in your life. This toxic relationship with yourself and extreme lack of self-confidence is often rooted in deep traumatic childhood experiences. Most times with people who had really authoritative parents or who grew up in a society where every single decision was made for them. Living with this disorder would literally make your life feel like you're always waiting for someone to hand you the instruction manual, but it doesn't have to remain so because you can get over your low self-esteem and unhealthy dependence on other people with therapy. Of all the personality disorders, the best one amongst all is the personality of becoming a member of our Discord server. Join now so you can get all the updates you need. Obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. With obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, your brain is practically like a super strict teacher who's obsessed with rules, order, and getting A++ on everything. You'll be on a never-ending quest for the holy grail of perfectionism and will not stop until every single thing in your life is properly fit and categorized in size, shape, and color. It's not just about keeping things neat, it's an all-consuming need for control that can seriously impact your life and relationships. Your brain is like an internal drill sergeant who's always on duty, barking orders about how things should be done, and you are compelled to follow. Over time, a person with this personality would find it very difficult to throw away old, worn-out stuff and buy new ones, and this would lead to a form of hoarding behavior. You'd often worry about sticking to your rules, schedules, and to-do lists, and would even look at them over and over again until you're sure everything is checked and done. And even when everything on your list has been accomplished, you'll still just create more work for yourself. It will literally look like you're allergic to relaxation. Schizotypal personality disorder. Let's say you're a 20-year-old girl and all your life people have called you a weirdo or a freak because of how you dress, speak, or think. However, it's not really your fault for being different because you have schizotypal personality disorder, which basically makes you see the world in a really unique way, and you'll think and act differently from most people. You might believe in things that others find strange, like magic or superpowers, and would even feel like you have a sixth sense or can read minds. Sometimes you might see or hear things that aren't really there. It's not like full-blown hallucinations, more like thinking you heard your name when no one called you. This could make your thoughts a bit messy, and you'd often say things that don't make sense to others. It's like your brain is tuned to a different radio station than everyone else's. Now, because a lot of people don't understand you, making friends would be really tough. You'd always feel super uncomfortable when around people and might think they're out to get you or talk about you behind your back. You'd also dress or act in ways that others find odd, but to you it all makes perfect sense. This isn't just being quirky or eccentric. It's a real mental health condition that can make daily life feel like you're navigating a maze with invisible walls. But with help, you can learn to connect with others better while still keeping your unique way of seeing the world.